Ndị be ka ụbọchị nketa amara na anyị na mma anyị sị ka nkonye chiri ya selu dịka o si dị ebe anyị si na-etere ya bụ ozi n'ụbọchị uruchi nketa bụ Easter News 24 ka anyị si na-etere ya bụ ozi ihe bụ gbasịta maka ya bụ ife n'ime n'obodo nọ n'ime ya ndị nwere ụwa na-azụ n'ala Igbo anyị na-ekwusi ọ bụla nke anọ bụ osis gị na-esere ekebalụ ketụsa ya bụ ozi akụkọ nke anyị wetara n'ụbọchị nketa and news update nke anyị wetara n'ụbọchị nketa bụ according to the Biafran activist as he quote, breaking news, hope for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's release. As all the Igbo politicians pressurized Tinubu to release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu from DSS custody. Hear the news in details. Right, according to the update that Makia Webia, one of the Biafran activists will tell ya bozi na onye ọbụla kịta na-ekwuzi okwu Mazi Nnamdi Kanu epụta. There will go one voice and one unity. So gaya bo iye the Biafran activist wetara ni ba ko diki yege ka baro kitu saya bozi and korutu mun 9 doesn't ebe di chente. Over to you, sir.
The former Anambra State Governor Chris Ngige has pleaded with Tinubu for the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu from the DSS custody Abuja. Of course, we all know who Ngige is. I myself has never been a fan of Ngige, especially since he became a typical Igbo politician serving Nigeria. I have never been his fan. Of course, I supported him when he was, the then governor of Anambra State, because at that time he was pretending to be a good man, and there was no Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. There was no Biafra. In fact, Biafra was already a thing of the past after Owazirike's sabotage. So, I supported him back then, thinking that he was a human being. But by the time Biafra agitation and liberation movement became a realistic matter for the Biafran people, all the zoo politicians from Igbo extraction became something else. You understand? That is the time they began to expose themselves, expose who they really are, expose their hatred against the Igbo race, which they all claim to be Igbos. So, as for me, I am never his fan, and I can never be. So, but because of something he has said recently, that is the reason why it is very, very important for me to read this very news in details for all of you listening to me from wherever you are all over the world. And as you can see on your screen, I will be reading from one of the Zoo media platforms, the Vanguard. And according to their title, they said, Ngige pleads with Tinubu to release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Former governor of Anambra State and immediate past minister of Labor and Employment, Senator Chris Ngige, has pleaded with President Bola Tinubu to release the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. There's something missing here. For the past 2 weeks, I've been monitoring Vanguard. They no longer use that word, the leader of proscribed indigenous people of Biafra. That has always been their word, proscribed, especially Vanguard and Punch, including nations. Nowadays, Vanguard doesn't use that word, the proscribed. How the cafe they have seen the handwriting on the wall. They have seen that in fact, the only man who will save not only the Biafran people, but also for the entire Zoological Republic is Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And then, by extension, Mazi Simon Epanjoko from Finland. All the way from Finland will help both the Yorubas, the Hausas, the Thieves, and all the tribes in the Zoological Republic of Animal Kingdom. There are only 2 persons, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and, of course, Mazi Simon Epanjoko. So they are seeing the handwriting on the wall. Now they are beginning to talk like people that have common sense. And they must continue, but they may listen to this now and say, no, we can't. We can't allow him to talk again like that. They will go back to their normal, useless behaviors. So let us continue. Senator Ngige has also expressed his regret that former President Muhammadu Buhari did not order the release of Kanu, despite leading prominent leaders of the Igbo extraction to him for the release of the IPOB leader. Speaking in an interview in Abuja on Wednesday, the former minister noted that the continuous incarceration of Kanu has worsened both the security and economic situations in the southeast. They called it incarceration. Incarceration. Of course, you know what that means. On its own is a crime against humanity. You can't keep someone under incarceration for 5 good years. He said that what was required in the IPOB leader's case was a political solution. A political solution. We don't know anything about political solution. And urged the president to show magnanimity in that direction. The former Anambra State governor said that the continuous detention of Kanu and sit at home on Mondays in the southeast has crippled the economy of the zone. You don't have any economy in the first place. There is no any economy in the first place. So what are you even worried about? You have no economy. In the east, there is nothing like economy. Everybody in the east is living under a borrowed time. There is no economy there. There's nothing like economy here. On whether he was disappointed that former President Buhari did not order Kanu's release despite his closeness to the late ex-leader, Ngige said, "Yes, I was disappointed, and I told him because in 2022, I organized for him to meet with Igbo leaders. The late Chief Mbazulika Amechi, to his blessed memory. The boy is good. Led a delegation of late Chukwemeke Zife, Bishop Onoha, myself, Chief Uwazurike, not Uwazurike Raf, not that one, who was a past president of AKA Ikenga, Aki Ikenga, like me, and Dr. Oboneono had to join us as a minister from Southeast. We went. If you go back and look at the tape again, when Mbazulika Amechi said that Nnamdi Kanu should be handed back to us, Buhari said that it was a very difficult request that had been made to him. Okay now. And when he was saying it, you can see pain in his face when he was replying to us. So I knew that he was in a difficult situation. But we got his approval for access to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu by the members of the delegation. He said from the access was given to more people unlike before, adding that after that, he still went back to the president. You see, I'm just reading this without even analyzing anything because I told me but only folk will hear and I like it or not, I will analyze it. Now, so I went back to the president. He listened to me because I don't deceive people. He said he doesn't deceive people. Can you imagine? Oh my God, a politician, an Igbo Nigerian politician said he does not deceive people. Can you imagine? He said, I talk frankly like my father. Oh, we talk frankly and leave the rest to God. So I went back and told him that difficult request and difficult answer he had not answered. Who knows? Was I there? The answer is no. So you can come up and tell us whatever you told a non-existent Buhari Nworo since 2017. Even from that one, from you people hiding the death of Buhari in 2017, claiming that he was whoever you people planted there in Asorok. That one alone has completely destroyed the image of the zoo politics and politicians entirely. So there's nothing you can tell us. As long as you were there as the so-called Minister of Labor and Works, whatever, and you people hid the death of Buhari in 2017, then there is nothing you can tell us. That means even devil himself can claim to be a truthful being. A devil can come out and say, I'm saying the truth, because it could go me far many times. There are two things. One is a being, is a living being, and another one is a word, a spoken word. These two things are the most suffered things in the world. Number one is the name of God. Number two is that word called truth. These two things suffer the most, because even a evil man will be doing things and he'll be calling the name of God. Then a liar will be lying to his own teeth, lying to his own generation, and he'll still be telling the public that I'm telling you the truth. So all these things are no longer new things to us, because I have to go now. He said, yes, but I should realize that this thing involves judiciary and security. Of course, I said, yes, I know. That's why we came. He said honestly that I should tell him what I wanted him to do. I said, yes, what I want you to do is to invoke the Constitution on the prerogative of mercy, which permit a sitting president to pardon somebody who had committed an offense and even been jailed or have been fined. You will use pardon and wash everything out, or somebody who is on trial for a criminal offense. Let me correct this impression here. First of all, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has never been convicted in his life for any crime. Even till now, he has not been convicted. In 2015, 2017, he was not convicted. Now, even as we are talking, the court, the same Nigerian court, had previously in 2022 freed Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, freed him, acquitted him, and asked the zoo government to not only apologize but also compensate him for all the inhuman treatment meted on him, including his kidnap in Kenya and the extraordinary rendition to Nigeria, and placing him under a solitary confinement, which is against the United Nations Charter on Peoples and Human Rights. You understand? So the court, a whole court of appeal, released Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, discharged him completely, said, this man, I found no guilt on him. So release him, let him go, and compensate him. So you can't be telling us to forgive. Forgive who? What did he do? Is it that he said we want to be free, we want to be out of the zoo, then he has committed a crime? Is it that he asked his fellow youths, his fellow Igbo youths, to come together and defend their land against the invasion of Fulani herdsmen terrorists that is now ravaging every single state in the north, including those who are very close to us in the Middle Belt, both Benue State, Kogi State, and other states in the Middle Belt? How has that become a crime? How has that become a crime? Can somebody tell us how such a move has suddenly become a crime? If they can be able to prove that, then we will know that people are not even supposed to talk about freedom in the whole world. In the whole world. Nowhere else, not even in Ukraine, people are not supposed to talk about being free. Not even in Ukraine that America is supporting. Not even in Ukraine that Britain is supporting. Not even in Ukraine that Finland is supporting. Nobody, no people in the world will talk about freedom. Oh yes, if they can be able to prove to us that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu committed a crime for saying that Biafra people should leave Nigeria, then we will now know which kind of world we are living in. Now, they continue here. So even till today, I believe that the issue of Nnamdi Kanu needs a political solution. That is for you, not for us. And the president, because why I say is for you and not for us is because this political solution, the only political solution that we can listen to, is when the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu involves the freedom of the Biafran people. And then because it will definitely go through political, because if either Nigeria will accept the Biafra self-referendum, or the Nigerian government has to invite the United Nations to conduct free and fair referendum to Biafran people to decide their fate. These whole things are political. So these are the kind of political solution that we all will pay attention to. But political solution to settle Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and release him, the same political solution that you people used on Wazirike, this one can never fly. It can never fly. Even if you release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, Biafra can never stop. I'm telling you, Biafra can never stop. So you better free him, release him. Even if he wants to go and rest in Afaruku, or he wants to go back to Kenya, or he wants to go to United Kingdom, wherever he wants to travel to, no problem. But Biafra matters can never die with the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. It's impossible. That is assurance to every human being. So I will advise you to release him. But for Biafra, it's not ending it's not going to end. It will only end when Biafra exits the Zoological Republic of Animal Kingdom, Nigeria. That is for sure. 100%. And all Igbo politicians should know about this. They said it. And the president of the country should be seen to have tried to show magnanimity, because right now, as we speak, the economic of the southeast of Nigeria is being threatened by the sit-at-home. Not today. And I don't know whether people know that removing of Monday of the working days and business days of the southeast is part of the things that lead to poverty for a large number of persons, especially those who are self-employed, called the formal sector. Okay, when Monday was there, when there was no sit at home, tell us if there was no poverty in the same southeast you are talking about. We will no longer allow people to deceive us, especially politicians. So I am appealing to Mr. President Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu to do that. Give us a gift so that we can allow the young men in Southeast to start their lives afresh. A lot of them are not doing anything now. They will tell you that their leader is jailed in Abuja, and they will quote for you, there was a court ruling that said that he was unjustly apprehended and sent back to Nigeria. Of course, he's there. He's there. Is it not true? The answer is true. It is true. It's there. He said,
Kefi wali kubasta maka ya bifenda nina ajima kewe bani ruakwa no bossing kata dika isikunu kwa. Nagina utuni ya update basta maka nworo wendi Igbo na-azọ and ihe na-eme n'obodo nọ n'ime ya. Unu anụgo ni kosi wee gbata wee kwuru. Anyị ga-alapụ unu kunu ri ati atu ya bife ajima kewe wee bịa n'iru akwụkwọ n'ụbọchị nke taa. Ka anyị mara ifu nche n'ụdị nke unu. Mgbanụ ka emesịa n'ụmụnne m.